Hello viewers, and welcome to this walkthrough video in which I will do my best to explain how to write an effective conclusion to your essay or paper. All right, so what's our learning aim? What's our goal? The outcome will be by the end of this session, I hope, by the end of this video, you will know what your conclusion paragraph should look like. So the main purpose of the conclusion is simply to recap what has already been communicated. As the author, you should not be including any new information, new data, or new sources. Instead, you'll be looking back at your paragraphs and summarizing the main points. To make an effective conclusion, you add linking words and phrases such as "in conclusion," "to sum up," or "in summary." And make certain that, like with the structure of a meal paragraph, your conclusion links back to the main thesis of your argument. Again, if you're not clear on what a meal paragraph is, I have another video in which I explain it, but in essence, it's the main point, the evidence, the analysis, and the linker. Now, in your conclusion, you won't be introducing any evidence. Simply, you'll be including the L, the M and the L, let's say, linking back to the main point of the argument. So, in essence, your conclusion is basically your introduction, rewritten to summarize all the points made in your paper up to that point. So for example, okay, this is an effective concluding paragraph. To conclude, students need to be competent in the use of technology nowadays due to the fact that it is an unavoidable part of daily life. Schools are the very place where technological skills should be consistently and responsibly learned. In addition, technology provides a promising start towards a form of personalized and interactive learning in the classroom. This is due to the opportunity it gives teachers to not only fully engage their learners, but also to spend additional time on learners who fall behind, leaving more advanced students to move forward. In essence, it gives teachers a new and more efficient way to teach. If the teachers of the future learn to make use of this newfound power and use it to educate, it will revolutionize the educational system. If schools succeed in implementing technology in their curricula, the next generation will be more prepared for future success. Now, why is this effective? Well, the main thesis of the paper is that technology belongs in education. It needs to be implemented and used because it will be beneficial for the future for learners and teachers. So what we see here is the link back to the main thesis of the whole paper. Also, the conclusion here summarizes what the author wrote about in the previous paragraph. So it's an unavoidable part of daily life, and school is where it should be learned, the use of technology. That was one body paragraph. That was one paragraph in the essay. And another paragraph was here, the idea that technology allows teachers to effectively differentiate amongst the learners' needs and better meet learners' needs. So again, we see a summary of what was written before and a restatement of the thesis overall. All right, let's play a little game. The idea here is to put the sentences in the next slide in a logical order to form an effective conclusion which restates the thesis. The restatement of the thesis goes first, then the summary of the main points, and finally a sentence that gives the reader something to think about, what is often called a call to action at the end of any argumentation. All right. Again, the restatement of the thesis, then the summary of the main points, and then something to think about. Now, what's our thesis statement? The thesis of the whole argument is many people dislike news shows that only support one person's opinion. So Again, if it's a conclusion paragraph, we need some sort of linking phrase that indicates to the reader that we're now concluding. So something like, in summary. Take a moment, think about it. Perhaps you want to pause the video, and we'll move on to the next slide and discuss the answers. So, this would be a restatement of the thesis with the concluding phrase. In summary, some people criticize TV news shows for sharing only one point of view. Now, this is just another way of saying this: dislike, criticize, support one person's opinion, sharing one point of view. Okay. These people, which people? Oh, these people. These people expect news shows to discuss several different perspectives. Unfortunately, many TV programs reflect the opinion of only one group of people. And then giving us something to think about at the end, TV news shows should be more balanced and reflect the opinions of a variety of people. Essentially, this is our call to action, and we know it is because of this should be. This is something that should happen in future. Let's try another one. Again, restatement of the thesis with some sort of phrase for conclusions. Then the summary of the main points as were written in your paragraphs. And then a sentence that gives the reader something to think about in a call to action. Okay, the thesis here is most people have access to the internet and several TV news shows. All right, so it's not too terribly difficult. We figure this is going to be the first sentence in the conclusion because it has our link that shows us this is where the conclusion's coming. In summary, people can usually choose where to get their news. This is a restatement. People have access, they can choose. Internet, news shows, where to get their news. Now, take a moment and try to think which sentence comes next. That's right. Our concluding paragraph would look like this. In summary, people can usually choose where to get their news. Some people, again referring to this, read just one online news site. Other people only watch TV news. Finally, a few people read several online news sites and watch TV news shows. People should get their news from all of these sources. So again, this is our call to action, should. Okay, and that's how we end our paper to give the reader something to think about. So the concluding paragraph of an essay does what? Does it remind the reader about one point from the thesis statement? No. Does it summarize information from the body paragraphs? Or include a hook with information to get the reader's attention? Well, wait. Answer C refers to the introduction, right? This is what belongs in your introduction. So the concluding paragraph, B, summarizes information from the body paragraphs. And in the concluding paragraph of an essay, the thesis statement should be, we're not going to repeat using the same words, right, as authors. That would be incredibly dull for readers to read and wouldn't showcase your language skills. The thesis statement, well, I suppose you could add it to the end of the paragraph, but really what we're after is that it should be repeated using different words. So restatement, repeat, restatement. Answer A. Choose the statement that restates this thesis statement. Now this is the thesis. Some politicians are not well liked because their policies are unclear, not useful, or ineffective. We want to find the answer that best restates, in different wording, this main idea. And of course, as you see, it is answer C. In conclusion, there's our linker, politicians who do not create clear, useful, and effective policies are often unpopular. This is another way of saying not well liked. Okay, and what we see in answer A is that this is more of a prediction. In the future, politicians will make policies that protect children. Again, this is a prediction as to future action, but it's not a restatement of the thesis. Answer B, for example, some politicians create policies that people do not like, is more of a fact or just a statement. This would probably belong in a body paragraph in the body of the essay or paper. Choose the concluding sentence that makes a prediction. Well, if it's a prediction, what sort of language are we going to see? Yes, will, going to. And since this is academic English, probably will, not going to is the language used. Answer C. Radio news will likely become more popular in the future. Will likely become. This is our prediction. People should listen to news on internet radio stations is, well, that's a call to action as to what should happen, but it's not a prediction. Listening to news from the radio is the best way to get information. Well, this is either a statement of opinion or fact, but again, it's not a conclusion that makes a prediction. Here we see present simple tense. So it's a statement of fact or an opinion that belongs in the body paragraphs, in the body of the essay. Choose the concluding sentence that offers a suggestion. So if it's a suggestion, what kind of language will we see? Should, must, have to. Here we go. Answer A. Newspaper writers should expose important issues. This is a call to action, a recommendation, a suggestion. What is B? Reading newspaper articles about important issues is enjoyable. Well, here this is present simple again. This simply states a fact, or in this case, an opinion, right? Because enjoyable is kind of subjective. Unless we have a statistic or some sort of research to back this up, research shows that 45% of people find newspaper articles less enjoyable then this could be a statement of fact. But again, the verb will tell you an awful lot. Suggestion, should. Prediction, will likely become. Here, what do we have in C? Newspapers will continue to expose important issues in the future. Well, this is a prediction. All right, in our last exercise, choose the concluding sentence that gives an opinion. News programs on TV will continue to report mostly bad news. Well, okay, we know that this is a prediction, right? Will. It is relaxing to watch news programs on TV. News programs on TV are common. Which one is more subjective or likely to be an opinion? Well, this. Again, a word like enjoyable or relaxing refers to a feeling, and that's quite subjective, so this is opinion. But then what is C? Well, we need a source of information. We need some logos, some statistic behind this. But news programs on TV are common. Well, that's a fact, right? And not an opinion, because this can be substantiated or proved with factual information. So, I do hope that this session has helped in indicating how to write an effective conclusion. Thanks for watching.